To start off, you're going to want to have Unreal Engine and UModel both installed. So first, you're going to open up UModel. You're going to navigate to your game directory. You're going to go to your Ready or Not folder. You're going to go to Content. You're going to go to Packs. You're going to copy this address. You're going to go back to UModel. You're going to paste this here. You're going to open up whichever folder you want to edit assets in. This is probably going to be Ready or Not assets. So let's go ahead and choose a weapon. Let's go with the HK416 test. This is the one that's used in the game. I see base color. This is probably the texture, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up to check. Open up with 4.27. I see that it is in fact a texture. We're going to export this to a UModel export. It's been exported. We can now close UModel. We're going to go into UModel export. Going to go to the TJA file. TJA file that's probably opened up. Open this up in Photoshop, GIMP, whichever one works for you. Both can edit TGA files. Alright, we've opened it. I'm just gonna, for demonstration purposes, just change this to a random color. Let's just go with, I don't know, let's go with pink. Alright, we're gonna save this. This is now the edited texture. What we need to do now is we need to pack this. So let's just launch Unreal Engine. Gonna wait for this to load up. We're going to want to create a new blank project. This way we have to cook less assets every time. Name it whatever you want. Wait for it to open. In my Unreal projects, you can see that a new folder was created. That's where we will be extracting the cooked contents. So we're going to drag in the texture. We're going to save all. We're going to save all. If you don't save, the file will not cook. We're going to go here, File, Cook Content for Windows, wait for it to cook. We're going to navigate to our Unreal Projects directory. We're going to go into Saved, Cooked, Windows No Editor, Modding, Content, and you can see the 3 files here have been cooked. Now, we're going to create a new folder for a mod. This is what we'll be dragging and packing. We're going to name it Pack Chunk. Any number after 0, just make it 99. Mods, this is just for consistent formatting. My new mod, or whatever you want to name it. I'm going to open this up, and then we're going to copy the game directory. So a similar file structure to the game. This is to actually make it override the files within the game. We're going to call it content. This is the first folder. Next folder will be Ready or Not. Then we're going to make a new folder called Assets. Again, I'm just copying where I pulled that texture from. Weapons. Then we have our HK416 test. And in here, I'm going to drag these 3 files. Now I'm going to navigate to my UE4 install directory. You're going to go into Engine, you're going to go into Binaries, then Windows 64. In here you should have a file called Unreal Pack. We're going to create a new text file. This is what we're going to turn into a .batch file, so let's just call this Unreal Pack bat .bat. We're going to change this to a bat. We're going to open this up in a text editor. Then we're going to copy some lines of code into here. We're going to save this. We're going to close this out. We no longer need that open. We're going to navigate back to our folder containing our PAKing mod. We're going to drag this PAKing mod directly onto our batch file that we just created. And we've created our pack file. You can just drag this into your game directory, and this should load up and work perfectly fine.